Right, today I want to teach you about how footwork is important and teach you how to use your feet correctly in the ground to help improve your body motion, which also in turn improves your swing. So come on, let's go do this. So footwork. So why is footwork important and why do people not develop this skill? And it is a skill that needs to be developed, and it's something that people don't actually work on or even really think about it. They'll spend a lot of times about how the body works and movement and so on, but they don't think about the feet and how they actually can have an active role. You know, we often hear about working from the ground upwards. Well, this is it. This is about feeling pressures in the feet and how the feet work in the golf swing. It's going to help you to direct the movement or the body correctly, which is in turn going to help you to direct the momentum of the club to hit better shots. So it's really important that we learn to develop good footwork, because good footwork can help you to create better use of the ground. It can help you create more speed, more power if you want to use that. It's also your balance. Okay, so giving you good balance is going to help you to create good strikes on the ball. So using the feet correctly is really, really important. It's often overlooked. So what I want to teach you today really is a skill, or teach you the skills to develop good footwork. Okay, and it's a drill that I'll do every so often. I've just been doing them now. And it amazes me how it improves my striking without really much effort. And I can actually swing the club quite freely when I do this, because it makes my body move correctly, especially the hips. All right. So one of the things that we tend to see golfers do when they swing a golf club is they have a tendency to use the right side too much, and they'll come off the feet too quickly, especially younger ones. We'll tend to see them swing the club back and in an attempt to get off the right side, as they're told by by people analysis on TV and so on. You know, they've got to use the right side correctly and get off this right side. And what we tend to see them do is they tend to move the right hip and the right knee forward, and they move up into the ball, so they get closer to the ball. And the problem with this then is if I go too soon with that, I'm in my own way now. My hands and arms haven't got the freedom to swing down in past my body, and I'm in my own way. All right. And I'm not using the ground correctly when I do this. If I spin my hips too quickly and I push my hip out forward, I'm not using the ground properly. I've already used all the power and forces that I need just to get down from the top of the backswing. All right, so this is an area that we have to try and stop you from using, okay, and try and use the feet correctly. A lot of it's done in baseball training. When they come out to pre-seasons, they'll train how to use the feet correctly and how to use that, because this helps to use the lower half correctly to create power and speed. So using my right foot correctly and using my left foot is really, really important. Okay, so this is where we really want you to work on. I mean, most of it's down to really the right foot and how we use that one, not so much the left foot, but because the left foot will go along for the ride. But it's really important that we establish that. But one of the things we tend to see, like I said to you, is we tend to see people come off too quickly on their right foot, trying to get up and off their right side, and this pushes everything forward, which can cause you to come out over the top. It can cause you to try and reroute it, early extensions, and all sorts of the bad stuff. All right, so that's really what we want to try and train you to do, and teach your feet to work correctly. Okay, Jack Nicklaus obviously had a great career, okay, and one of his coach, Jack Grout, used to teach him to just roll his feet, and used to just have him hitting shots just rolling his feet and practice using his feet correctly, okay, which inadvertently made him become really good with his leg action. All right, which no coincidence that he actually, you know, developed a really, really good game. All right, so using the feet correctly, you know, even just doing the rolling action helps to get the swing going off to a nice start. So, you know, just rolling back and forth, it really helps to develop the golf swing and helps to develop the right hip action. So I want to teach you that today and help you to develop that, but we're going to show you a 3-step process that helps you through that. Okay, so step number 1, okay, which sounds really insane, is you're not going to come off your feet at all. Okay, you're going to keep your heels planted into the ground. Okay, and when you make the golf swing, you're just going to swing back and swing through without lifting this right foot off the ground at all. You're just going to hit it very flat-footed. All right. What you're going to do though is you're probably going to feel weight go back into the heels and into the inside cleat area here of the right heel. You're going to feel like you're really sort of pushing that into the ground. Okay, so as you swing back, you can feel the weight go into the heels, And this is important to feel that as well, because this is going to help you to move your hips correctly and move and push the hip back. What we hear a lot of golfers do is they've got to stabilize this right leg, and we tend to see them then pivot around that right leg, which moves their hips up and forward as they swing back. So they're forever progressively working towards the ball. So what I mean by that is, from this way around, we tend to see people hold this still and then they pivot around that. Okay, so they'll pivot forward and they come away from that imaginary wall. Let's say, you'll see pros draw lines up against people's backsides. Well, they start to come away from that because they're trying to pivot around this hip. If I can push the weight back into my right heel, my right hip can go back. I'm going to help develop a much better angle here at posture. Again, all helping me to create better angles and to come into the ball correctly. So you're just going to strike a few shots just with your right foot staying flat on the ground. Okay, you're not going to move through. You don't have to swing it hard, just nice half swings. But this is going to be harder than you think. I struggle with this one a lot. As a kid, I always used to come off too early. I used to sometimes be at impact like this through impact, and I'd be up and into the ball and cramped. Okay, so this is a real good one for me to try and develop, to try and keep my weight back into my heels and not moving up into the ball. You might catch a few thin when you do this to start with, because you're not used to it. You're used to coming up to the ball. But anyway, this is a great way to do. So you're just going to make a few half swings, just swinging, keeping that right heel flat on the ground. Okay, just swinging just with your hands and arms. So just back and through. Okay, you'll be surprised at how well you hit the ball, how straight it will go. But you can see here that I've managed to keep that right heel flat on the ground. So that's step number one. You're just going to hit a few shots, just doing that, keeping that right heel flat on the ground. So it's back and through, okay? And just allow the club to run hit. Just allow the club head to run into the ball, just with your hands and arms for now. That's how you're going to start off to learn this process. So just from this process here, you're just going to feel this right heel stay flat onto the ground and firmly planted. Okay, I'm not going to use my legs hardly, well, my feet at all. I'm just going to make a half swing. Just going to swing back and swing through. You can see how this foot stays flat to the ground, and that's really what I want you to try to feel. Okay, so try and give that a go, and that's the first step. Step number one, right foot flat on the ground. Okay, so step number two, once you've got used to swinging the golf club with that foot flat to the ground, okay, you're then going to allow, okay, the feet to roll a little bit. So you're going to allow, on the backswing, you can allow that foot to roll in if you need to. Depends how flexible you are. But you can roll this one in, or roll the ankles, okay, so you feel like you're rolling onto the side of the foot. On the backswing, this helps you to get a bit more turn maybe, and get you a bit more pressure shift to the right hand side. And on the forward swing, when you make the forward swing here, you're going to allow this right foot to then just roll onto the side. Okay, so you're going to swing back and through onto the side. So you're going to tip up onto the side of the foot, onto the inside edge here. All right, the reason why we do this one is because it helps me to move my hip down and inwards, okay, and away from the ball, and my knee can move laterally to the side as well. It's just going to help me to move this hip down and inwards and this thigh, okay, rather than moving up and out, okay, which is really important. So that feeling here of just moving that into the side just helps to push my hip in the right manner and my leg down and inwards, as opposed to, like I say, firing it up towards the target or towards the ball. Also, when you do this, when you roll this hip in, just allow the left hip just to go back as you do so. Okay, so I'm just getting out my way here by rolling onto the side. So what you're going to do from there is then, instead of being flat-footed, you're just going to make a swing where you're just going to allow that right foot just to roll up onto the side. So you swing back and through. Okay, just allow it to roll up. That's all you're going to do. So from here, just going to swing back and roll it through. That was a better strike. But you can see how I've just rolled up onto the side here. My right knee hasn't come forward at all. It's rolled in to the side. Okay, that's just a great feeling to get on how the hips and the body works. It stops you from getting in your own way from firing out here. I'm just going to pull that in to the side. So step number two is just to feel that. So back and through to the side. Okay, I'm pushing off that cleat, that inside cleat, as I mentioned in the heel, to get a nice solid swing. So that's step number two. Okay, so just on this one then, so like I said, you're just going to roll that foot inwards. You can roll the left foot if you want to. I tend to not to because I like to keep a little bit more to the left, but just keep that right foot and just allow that just to roll in when you hit the shot. Okay, so you're going to keep the heel on the ground and you're just going to roll inwards. This rolls my knee in towards my left knee, okay, and keeps my hip nice and low. So that's just all you're going to do is just hit a couple of shots, just feeling that. So just back and roll through. Okay, you can see how I've rolled through onto my side. It's a really great exercise. So we've done swinging flat-footed, and now we just roll into the side. Okay, so this one sounds a bit bizarre now. So what we're going to do from here is we've gone from being flat-footed and hitting shots to now rolling up onto the side as we hit the shot. What we're going to do from here now, and the next one, is you're going to swing back, you're going to roll up through the side, hit the ball, stop, and then come up and forward onto your tip of your right toe. So you're going to be right onto the tip of your toe. All your weight down your left side, and you're going to follow through. So you're basically going to swing back, hit, and then come up, and get used to coming up onto your left side. Okay, it's a bit of a delayed reaction, but it's just to sort of start getting us to blend in the movement correctly. All right, so all you're going to do from here is just swing back, up on the side, and then come up. Okay, just get you used to finishing the right position. Remember, this is an exercise that Jack Nicklaus used to do. Developed some great footwork in his swing to be able to use the ground correctly and using this right heel. The key here is that we're using this cleat in the right heel and really feel like I'm twisting that in the ground. This helps me to twist my hips better and move in a much more functional manner when I'm playing. So, do that one again. I'm going to swing back, up onto the thing, up onto my inside step, and then up onto my toe. Okay, just getting used to that feeling of swinging up and into the toe. And that's the third step into using the foot action. And that's what we want to try to develop. Okay, so that's really, really important that you try and do those 3 steps. Okay, so just to on this one, so you're just going to basically swing back, you're going to hit the ball, roll up onto the right inside right foot. Once you've swung to here, then you're just going to follow up onto the tip of the toe. Okay, it's going to help to just complete that feeling. So just create that feeling. So let's just do that again. So we're going to swing back, up onto the inside of the right foot, and then up onto the toe. Just develop that feel. That's all I'm doing on this one. So I'm just going to make my swing back, up, and then up onto my toe. Just to help me get used to how the feet work. That way then I can start to blend the movement up and through. Okay, so that's drill 3. So once you've done those 3 steps, then the final thing to do, you could probably say this is a 4th step maybe, is you're then going to blend all three of them together. So you're going to feel as though you're flat to start with, move into your right instep, and then you're going to come up onto the toe. It's just got a matter of timing it out. But all you're thinking about here is not so much the club or the hands or the arms, you're just thinking about how the feet work. So back and up onto the toe. Okay, it's just going to help you just to blend and move the hips correctly during the swing. It's going to stop you from firing too soon on the right side and getting yourself trapped and across it. You're going to have to move in, push into this right heel into the ground, twist up onto the foot, and then up and around. The foot actually comes around as a direction of the club swinging through. It doesn't come up first onto the toe, which we see a lot of golfers do. So just swing back and up onto the toe. It sort of rolls, it rolls up and onto the toe. It does it gradually and smoothly. I'm not using it to start off with. Again, as I said, this was an area that I really struggled with when I was younger because I used to always be up onto my toe, trying to get up here. So it's really important. So just swing back and swing through. Okay, this helps to just push me through the ball and use the ground properly in order to swing and hit the shots correctly. All right, so just get that feeling of pushing up and through. So I'm using the ground here, using the side of the foot to push into the ground, and then a roll up onto the toe. So that's how you're going to develop good footwork. It's going to create much better hip action and going to keep you away from the ball. It's going to help with a bit of early extensions, which you see a lot of golfers struggle with. But it's just going to help you to use the ground properly when you're swinging it. Okay, it's what baseball players do when they do pre-seasons. They step up to it, they're using the ground. They push in with this right cleat here. They feel like they're twisting it into the ground. Okay, and this then pushes the hip in properly so that they don't fire the hip out too soon. They're trying to stay back here to then push away. Okay, and that's the same action we want in the golf swing. So very simple, try those 3 steps, do it slowly. You don't have to go too mad and trying to hit golf shots as hard as you possibly can. Just keep it nice and simple, and then try and blend it in nice and slowly. You can do it with all the clubs. I'd start with I had a 7-iron here, but you can start with any clubs you like, but start nice and low and build up to the driver. Try it with the driver. Some people are very afraid to try it with the driver. I'll often get asked, do I do this with a driver? Yes, you do it with any of the clubs that you want to hit well, all right? So give it a try and let me know how you get on in the comments below. So there we have it. That's how we use our feet correctly, especially the right foot. Using the ground properly to push off the ground is very important, but it also helps to train my body action and my leg action better. So it's well worth giving a try. So thanks again for watching. Please hit the like button below and also subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you at the next one.